I thought you were going to sign Max Verstappen, purely because it would feel similar for people. You've gone from a multiple world champion to another multiple world champion.
You know, we get on very well, not always in the visibility of the public eye. I've known Jos for a long time. He has my age. We have similar views on racing, and I wouldn't want the year 2021 put any shadow on any, personal relationship that we have. It was bad enough that year, but the relationships are intact.
Verstappen gets an excellent reaction. Hamilton, though, is ahead of Perez, but not for long, as Max Verstappen now on the inside joins Hamilton in battle. It is Hamilton and Verstappen and Hamilton wheel to wheel. Hamilton is forced wide and he's lost a little bit of bodywork as well.
Max Verstappen has just announced a shocking multi-year deal with Mercedes for 2026. But wait, before you jump to conclusions, there's a crucial detail you need to know that's causing massive confusion across the F1 community. Is the four-time world champion really leaving Red Bull? Or is something else going on here? Stay tuned, because this story has more twists than a Monaco street circuit. Max Verstappen Racing has officially confirmed a multi-year partnership with Mercedes-AMG Motorsport starting in 2026. And yes, you heard that right. Verstappen and Mercedes are joining forces.
Okay, Max, that was a third stroke on track limits.
Where?
Turn 10. You've now been given the black and white flag. You are 18 seconds ahead of Hamilton. No risks required, Max.
What's the fast lap?
It's a 16.6. It was a first lap on a new soft for Checo with DRS, so I won't worry about it, Max.
What's my fastest lap?
Yours is a 17.3. Like I say, you've been given a black and white flag, so we cannot afford anything.
A few moments later.
Max puts in the fastest lap of the race.
Okay, now can you bring it home within the white lines? Thank you.
Yeah.
The deal was announced just days after Verstappen was spotted testing a Mercedes-AMG GT3 at Estoril circuit in Portugal. He even shared photos from the test on his Instagram with the caption, "Bit of fun before the break. Looking forward to 2026. Under this partnership, Verstappen Racing will compete in the GT World Challenge Europe using Mercedes-AMG GT3 machinery in both the Sprint Cup and Endurance Cup competitions. The program will be run in collaboration with Seas Motorsport, an experienced GT3 outfit.
What do we know that's factual? Well, George Russell has not been announced for next year, and that's highly unusual. For him to be hanging there still without clarity, and nobody is absolutely categorically denying that Max Verstappen is talking to Mercedes-Benz. That's Mercedes or Team Verstappen. So something's up.
Know what to do.
This marks a significant shift for Verstappen Racing, which has been using Aston Martin machinery in 2025. Remember, Max actually won his GT3 debut earlier this year, driving a Ferrari at the Nürburgring, so this guy is serious about his GT racing career. Now, here's where things get interesting, and where a lot of people are getting confused. This is not a Formula One deal. Let me repeat that. Max Verstappen is not switching to Mercedes F1. He is not leaving Red Bull Racing for his Formula One career. This is specifically for his personal GT3 racing team called Verstappen Racing. This is a separate operation from his F1 commitments. Think of it as his side project, his passion outside of Formula One. However, the timing and the Mercedes branding have immediately sparked speculation about his long-term F1 future, especially given everything else that's been happening at Red Bull lately. And trust me, there's plenty to talk about there. Speaking of Red Bull, let's talk about why people are so quick to assume Verstappen might be planning an exit. First, there's the Gianpiero Lambiase situation. GP, as he's known, has been Max's race engineer for nearly a decade. They're basically the most iconic driver-engineer duo in modern F1. But according to reports from the race, Aston Martin is now targeting Lambiase for a senior role, possibly at team principal or CEO level. After the Abu Dhabi season finale, their radio exchange was particularly emotional. GP told Max, "You can be proud of that, mate. Hold your head up high." And Verstappen cryptically replied, "We showed them one final time who's boss."
So in general, I'm just very proud of the season that we've done, how we've come back as well in the second half. So yeah, we'll just try and keep it fun now till the end. But yeah, to always pinpoint on one particular moment or whatever, that's always a hard one.
That word choice, final time, sent the rumour mill into overdrive. Add to that the fact that Red Bull lost legendary designer Adrian Newey to Aston Martin earlier in 2025, and you can see why people are nervous about Verstappen's commitment to the team. There have been persistent rumours that Max could follow both Newey and potentially Lambiase to Aston Martin at the end of 2026.
Go.
Especially with the major regulation changes coming that year. So what does this Mercedes GT3 deal actually tell us? Well, from a practical standpoint, it shows that Verstappen is building a serious long-term racing operation beyond Formula One. He's already talked about his interest in endurance racing and team ownership as part of his post-F1 career plans. The Mercedes partnership provides factory-level support and brings in experienced drivers. Chris Lulham will continue from 2025, joining forces with Daniel Juncadella, who's actually Aston Martin's F1 simulator driver, ironically enough. For the endurance races, including the prestigious 24 Hours of Spa, they'll add Mercedes-AMG performance driver Jules Gounon. Stefan Vendel, the Mercedes-AMG customer racing boss, called it an extremely ambitious and promising project, which suggests they're taking it seriously. But here's the thing. While this deal doesn't directly impact his Red Bull contract, it does show that Verstappen is comfortable working with Mercedes, one of Red Bull's fiercest F1 rivals. That psychological barrier is now broken. And let's not forget, Max himself said earlier this month that he's weighing factors beyond just F1 when considering his future. This Mercedes partnership fits perfectly into that broader vision. "2026 is shaping up to be absolutely massive for Formula One. We're getting completely new technical regulations, including a revolutionary new overtaking system that replaces DRS with 3 different modes. For Verstappen, 2026 could represent a natural decision point. His current Red Bull contract situation has been the subject of speculation. And with the regulations reset, teams will essentially be starting from scratch. Struggles with the new regulations, if Lambiase does leave, and if Adrian Newey produces a championship-winning car at Aston Martin, the temptation to make a move could become very real. On the flip side, Red Bull is developing its first in-house power unit in partnership with Ford for 2026. Verstappen has already tested it on the dyno and said it sounds crisp. If that engine proves competitive, why would he leave?
Go.
Lando Norris is retiring from the Dutch Grand Prix. A World Championship.
Ai nostri amici della scuderia Ferrari ed ai loro tifosi.
Lando Norris has sent the F1 world into a frenzy. Rumours are exploding that the newly crowned champion could be walking away from McLaren, with Norris himself hinting, "I've done everything I wanted in Formula One. Now I'm done. Next, I have a plan B."
We've had a lot of good moments and good memories and good laughs. Yeah, it's always sad, you know. It shows how tough Formula One is, how tough it is to perform at the level you've got to be at. But I have a lot of respect for him and what he's achieved already in his Formula One career and so on. I'm sure it's not over for him. I'm sure there's a plan B for next year. So
the last, 7-8 years of being with McLaren, with the last 16, 17 years of my life, trying to chase this dream. And today we all did it, so I'm pretty happy.
After ending Max Verstappen's 4-year reign by just 2 points and delivering McLaren their first title since 2008, questions are swirling. Is this the end of Lando Norris in Papaya, or the beginning of something even bigger? The season finale at Yas Marina Circuit delivered everything fans could hope for in a title decider. Norris started second on the grid with a 12-point advantage over Verstappen and a 16-point cushion over teammate Oscar Piastri. All three drivers had realistic shots at the championship, marking the first time since 2010 that three contenders fought for the title at the final race.
Oh my god. No way. Should have used a break, that man actually kill himself. So without using swear words, how did you feel when you did that moment?
Verstappen dominated from pole position, but Norris only needed a podium finish to secure the crown regardless of where his rivals finished. The drama began immediately on lap 1, when Piastri made a stunning move around the outside at turn 9, demoting Norris to third. That position would prove to be exactly what the championship required, but the race was far from comfortable. Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari applied constant pressure from 4th place, while Norris faced challenging moments after his first pit stop on lap 16. Returning to the track in heavy traffic, he battled past Kimi Antonelli, Lance Stroll and Liam Lawson before encountering Red Bull's Yuki Tsunoda, who made aggressive defending maneuvers that led to a steward's investigation. Norris kept his composure throughout, making his second stop on lap 40 for another set of hard tyres before cruising to the finish line and into F1 history. Norris's championship journey was anything but straightforward. He started 2025 as the title favourite after his breakthrough 2024 campaign that included 4 race wins. Victory in the season, opening Australian Grand Prix, appeared to set the perfect tone, with Norris controlling a chaotic wet race while Piastri spun off in the rain. But the next 6 races brought 0 victories, while Piastri claimed 4 wins and took the championship lead at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in April. The lowest point came at the Dutch Grand Prix in August, when a fuel line failure forced Norris to retire from 2nd place. That DNF left him 34 points behind Piastri, with the championship appearing out of reach. What followed showcased Norris's true champion mentality. He responded by expanding his support team, working harder on the simulator, and digging deeper into car setup analysis than ever before. The turnaround began with consistent podium finishes through September before he hit peak form in October. Back-to-back dominant victories in Mexico City and Sao Paulo, including a 30-second winning margin in Mexico, propelled him back into the championship lead at round 20. The final stretch tested his nerves further. Both McLarens were disqualified from the Las Vegas Grand Prix for excessive plank wear after Norris took pole position. A strategy error in Qatar left him 5th before he salvaged 4th place. These setbacks could have derailed his title hopes, but Norris arrived in Abu Dhabi with enough points and enough confidence to finish the job. The moment Norris crossed the finish line and saw his McLaren team celebrating brought tears that he didn't expect. On the cool-down lap, his voice cracked over the team radio. "Thank you guys, oh my god. You have made my dreams come true, thank you so much. I love you guys, thanks for everything. I love you, Mum. I love you, Dad.
Yeah, I'm so proud that I could play that part. So I love you, Mum, and I love you, Dad, and I love you, family, and Louis and Marty. Yeah, so this was really for my mum and my dad, because they let me chase this dream, and today I got to share it with them. So they're very happy.
In the immediate post-race interview, emotion overwhelmed him. "Oh God, I've not cried in a while. I didn't think I would cry, but I did. It's a long journey." First of all, I want to say a big thanks to my guys, everyone in McLaren, and my parents. My mum, my dad, you know. They're the ones who supported me since the beginning. He then caught a glimpse of himself on the TV screen and joked through tears. "Oh, I look like a loser." His tribute to rivals showed class in victory. I want to congratulate Max and Oscar, my two biggest competitors the whole season. It's been a pleasure to race against both of them. It's been an honor. I've learned a lot from both of them as well, so I've enjoyed it. Perhaps most telling was his reflection on what the championship truly meant. "This is not my world championship, this is ours. This is one where I get to say, thank you, Mum, thank you, Dad. They're the ones who sacrificed so much to let me be the lucky boy I am today, to live my dream." Norris's title-winning campaign delivered remarkable consistency across 24 races. He finished with 423 total points, capturing 65.3% of all available points throughout the season. His 7 race victories matched Piastri's win total, making them tied for most wins in 2025. Beyond those victories, Norris added 8 second-place finishes and 3 third-place results, with his Abu Dhabi podium being the most important of all. The 18 total podiums set a new record for most podiums in a single season by a McLaren driver, surpassing previous benchmarks set by legendary champions. 7 pole positions demonstrated his qualifying pace, while 6 fastest laps showed he could extract maximum performance when needed. Only 6 races ended with Norris off the podium. 2 DNFs in Canada and the Netherlands, the Las Vegas disqualification, and finishes of 4th in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, plus 7th in Azerbaijan. His qualifying battle against Piastri finished 13-11 in his favour, while their race day head-to-head stood at 13-10, not including the Las Vegas disqualification. The margins were razor-thin throughout the season, reflecting just how evenly matched the McLaren teammates were across the entire campaign. Lando Norris becomes Britain's 11th Formula One world champion and the first since Hamilton's 2020 title. For McLaren, this championship represents redemption after years of struggle and validates their journey back to the front of the grid. Norris has been with McLaren since joining their driver development program at age 17 in 2017, making his rise to champion the ultimate partnership success story. He'll carry the number 1 on his car in 2026 as he defends his title under new regulations that will reset the competitive order. With Piastri pushing harder and Verstappen determined to reclaim his crown, Norris's first championship defense promises another thrilling season. But for now, after 423 points and 7 victories across 24 races, Lando Norris stands alone as Formula One's 2025 world champion.
Just give me a gut feel, one word. Has he got it in him still with Ferrari to win lots of races still, or is that asking too much?
No, he can win races with Ferrari. Can he win another championship? Tall order. A lot of good kids around.
Has the F1 world completely written off Lewis Hamilton too soon? Could the 7-time champion silence his critics by storming to multiple victories in Ferrari red? And why is Martin Brundle going against every Sky F1 expert who believes Hamilton's championship days are over? Today, we're diving into the bombshell prediction that has divided the paddock. While most pundits have crowned Lando Norris as champion in waiting, Martin Brundle has made a stunning forecast about Hamilton's Ferrari debut that nobody saw coming.
It would be electric to see Hamilton in a Ferrari, but what did Lewis say to us? I love the colour red. Red is passion. I've got red in my crash helmet. I would love to be dressed in red to an extent, but
I'm about to reveal why one of F1's most respected voices believes Hamilton will prove the doubters wrong in spectacular fashion. despite being outperformed 19-5 in qualifying by George Russell last season. Stay with me as we unpack this controversial take that has the entire F1 community buzzing. In a statement that sent shockwaves through the F1 community, Sky F1 commentator and former F1 driver Martin Brundle has gone completely against the grain with his prediction for 2025. While his colleagues have all but dismissed Hamilton's chances, Brundle declared, "My bold prediction for this season is that Lewis Hamilton will win more than one race in a Ferrari. This isn't just any prediction. This is about the most successful driver in modern F1 history, making the most dramatic team switch since his Mercedes bombshell back in 2013. Hamilton arrives at Maranello with the weight of Ferrari's passionate fanbase on his shoulders, and with serious questions to answer after his disappointing 2024 campaign. The numbers don't lie. Hamilton makes this Ferrari move with significant doubters to silence. In 2024, he suffered comprehensive defeat to former Mercedes teammate George Russell in both race and qualifying head-to-heads. The qualifying statistics are particularly alarming. Russell dominated 19-5 across the season, raising serious questions about Hamilton's single-lap pace as he enters his 19th F1 season.
And I also think linking up with Fred Vasseur is a brilliant way to go full circle.
Right.
Because Fred was his team boss in Formula 3 and GP2, and I believe fervently created the most potent version of Lewis Hamilton that has ever existed. And I include the 7-time Formula 1 world champion version of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
When he was at McLaren, he was always kind of like, they were trying to restrict him, pigeonhole him into this
Fit
thing.
in the box.
Even at Mercedes, he was never that free.
Yeah, okay.
And now he is Sir Lewis Hamilton, the greatest of all time. If he can help Lewis to untap that version of himself again, it's going to be the greatest comeback.
Yeah.
You imagine it, 26 in that Ferrari. I honestly don't think there's a single person that watches Formula 1 who doesn't think that Lewis is worthy of an 8th title and how great it would be to have Lewis win an 8th world championship. And if he does it at Ferrari with Fred, the whole thing coming together, I think it would be absolutely
epic.
At 40 years old, many believe Hamilton's best days are behind him. Not a single Sky F1 analyst picked him to win that record-breaking 8th world title in 2025. Not one. This despite Hamilton's unrivaled experience with 105 race victories and 7 world championships.
So, will I be surprised if it's a hardcore Lewis Hamilton Drivers' Championship, a hardcore Red Bull Constructors' Championship with Sergio Perez finishing P3? Let me rephrase that. That will not surprise me if Sergio Perez is P2 or P3 in the Constructors' Championship next year. However, based on how I've seen, if we're making really strong predictions for next year, it would be is a non-zero possibility, and I think it'd be pretty gnarly if Lewis Hamilton still wins. Sorry, if Max Verstappen wins, Lewis Hamilton's a P2, and especially with Charles Leclerc, then it comes down to Charles Leclerc or Sergio Perez.
Yeah. When Sky assembled their all-star panel, including lead commentator David Croft, pit lane reporter Ted Kravitz, 2016 world champion Nico Rosberg, and 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve, the verdict was clear. Hamilton isn't expected to challenge for the title. Norris dominated the voting with 6 experts, including Hamilton's former rival Rosberg, backing the McLaren driver to secure his maiden world championship. Defending 4-time champion Max Verstappen received just 2 votes, while Charles Leclerc, Hamilton's new teammate, received a single vote from Williams development driver Jamie Chadwick. In the constructors' battle, the panel's prediction was similarly decisive. McLaren is favored to beat Ferrari by a margin of 7-3, suggesting Hamilton and Leclerc might not have the machinery to challenge consistently. Ted Kravitz offered a fascinating insight into the competitive nature of the upcoming season, predicting that 8 drivers will win races in what could be an all-time classic F1 campaign. With 4 teams, McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes, all harboring legitimate title aspirations, 2025 could deliver one of the most unpredictable seasons in recent memory.